Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video on the stream experiment. My name's Jason and I brought a couple buddies in today to help me with my very first stream build. I know I don't really know what I'm talking about, so thank God that these guys came to hang out, but let's get right into it. But this video is going to be a little bit different as I don't have a stationary camera, so we're going to be moving around a little bit, but we're going to do the best we can to capture all of the shots that you need to just see a basic build. But anyways, I wanted to introduce you to my buddies over here. So this is Sheepies on Twitch. You can go check him out. He's got an awesome channel. And then he usually plays with Cody, who's hiding in the background. He's got pants on today.
Unfortunately.
I was
told I had to be respectful.
As you can see, just because we don't want to get kicked off of YouTube before we even get started.
We are going to start a fans only page for Hammer though, so.
Like I said, it's a little bit unorthodox. We haven't done this before, but we're going to have some fun. So before we get into it, we need to know what the first step is.
So step one, we want to unbox a few things. That being said, we don't want to unbox them too far. The motherboard, for example, comes in this cool anti-static bag, because if we gave the motherboard a static shock, we could fry the motherboard and you'd have to buy a new one. Nobody wants to do that. That being said, when we do pull it out of the bag, whenever we go to touch anything, we want to make sure we touch the sides of our case. They also make really cool bracelet things you can wear for them. They're not that necessary unless you're really worried about it, but touch the side of your case, touch our components. So the first step, we obviously want our motherboard is the starting point here. Everything connects to the motherboard. Alright, so we've got our motherboard. Next we're going to take out a couple of other things. It's a lot easier to put things onto the motherboard. Other than the GPU, before you put it in the case, as soon as you put stuff in the case you start to lose room really, really quickly.
Alright, so we got our unboxing knife here. Oh, look at that. Smooth.
Butter.
Oh, that is true.
You'll have to dub that in, Hannah. Your ASMR.
Look at this packaging. Wow. So we don't really need to look at the processor. What we have here is just the Ryzen 5 2600. Again, it was a budget build, and because Sheepies uses the what do you have, the 2600X?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and he recommended this one because his does pretty much everything gaming as what we wanted. So this is what we went with. Ooh, and this is just the cooler that comes with it.
Ryzen CPUs are also very good for multitasking. So if you're using this as a gaming and streaming rig all in one, this is a great choice for you to use.
And normally you'd have to apply thermal paste, however the AMD ones come with thermal paste already applied. You also want to open that upHere and check for any pins. If any pins are bent, it should be pretty easy if you look straight down on it.
No pins were bent here. Everything looked good, so we went ahead with installing the CPU into the motherboard and then adding the cooler on top of it.
Gotta say, guys, it's the first time I've ever screwed something on camera before.
Alright, I don't like that.
You can move it around. Once it's in the case, you'll be able to move things around. You can always unplug it, change it around, that
Okay.
kind of thing. The cords like to only go one direction when you first get them because they've been curled up.
Sure.
And you can move them around after that.
That makes sense. That's a pro tip. Remember the pro tip.
For our RAM, we went with G.Skill's 16GB DDR4 TridentZ RGB 3600 MHz RAM sticks.
There's no tip on it. You can't even get it in there. There it is.
Should we get a bigger knife? Is that the problem?
Probably. It's not big enough. The tip is too rounded off and dull.
And even though it's a budget build, we still went with RGB because it was the same price as the normal RAM.
Unless
So,
we wanted to
flare.
like downgrade to
Slower speeds.
yeah.
So now these do go in a specific direction, or they should, and they go in specific slots. We have 4 slots here for RAM. However, the motherboard will prioritize 2 of the slots, and you want to put those in first if you only have 2 sticks.
So it says 2 and 4 to use first.
Does it?
Yeah, it's got that first right there.
Okay, I didn't
So we'll go 2 and 4
put my
first.
glasses on still.
So what we did here was open the tabs on channels 2 and 4 where we were going to install the RAM sticks, and we quickly realized, well, more so I quickly realized that you have to push harder than what you expect.
It takes more force than you'd expect.
I was gonna
When I was putting it in, I was like, I'm giving it a fair amount of force. I don't want to break anything.
Oh, I made movements.
Oh, she's sliding in.
Got
Oh,
one
look at that.
clipped.
Got one. You gotta get the other side.
You want to be careful with all of your pieces, but you don't have to be dainty with them. You want to make sure they go in all the way.
Beautiful.
We are in.
We're in. So we got the RGB RAM sticks in. That's 16 gigabytes.
I'm just going over this in my head. The next stuff we have to put on, we're gonna have to put a lot of cords in here. We're gonna have to put the GPU on. Otherwise, this sucker should be able to go into the case.
Into the case.
So let's open the case up. I'm gonna put this off to the side.
And the case we're using for this was I wouldn't necessarily really call it a budget case because you could get cases that are cheaper. Plus, it came with 3 fans.
A lot of the case building, you want to look at things like airflow and things like that. Getting the right size case for your components, not a case that's too big or too small, that kind of thing.
So this one, it pops out from the bottom, and then the panels don't actually come off, but they spin out of the way. It's kind of neat. I don't think.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah. So it just kind of, it's got hinges on the back, and it looks like it goes all the way around and opens right up. The opposite side does the exact same thing, even though we have the board on the back side.
Which is nice because you will have to get into the back for cable management and other things like that.
So we went ahead and removed the pre-installed fans. I just wanted to take a quick second to note that these fans are built much better. They feel much sturdier and stronger, better build quality than the RGB fans that we did install. It just didn't have the flare that we were looking for, so we took them out to make room for the RGB fans.
Motherboard is next. Oh, this pro
guy's
tip.
next. Yes.
Pro tip.
Don't forget about this. I forgot about this and it's a pain. This will sit on the back of the case and it kind of just shows you which different USBs and what stuff is on it. Hangs out back in here. If you don't put it in, the motherboard has to sit in this and you have to take the whole thing back out or bend this to get it in there. Inside of our case we have standoffs and they separate the motherboard from sitting on the actual case. They're these little guys right here, the little notches that come out the back. And depending on the case, they'll either come attached or you'll have to put them in. There's a lot of different motherboard configurations, so they might give them to you without, so they don't have to keep putting more of them in here.
Gotcha.
And then here, you can see the little like star looking holes. There's one by my thumb and my pinky.
And those are where those go through.
Yes.
Okay.
And that helps make sure the motherboard is grounded so we're not zapping it with anything.
That's a good pro tip too.
Pro tips by Hammer.
See, I would have not known that, but I would have put it in the same way, so technically I wouldn't have actually needed to know that to be doing it right. But it's good to know.
He was sus, but he had no proof.
Yeah.
He was right.
It was right, just no proof. Wait, I was right.
120 millimeter and 140
Oh,
millimeter. So depending on the size fan, this determines the size hole.
Pro tip, size fan to the size hole.
All right, let's get this in here.
Sheepy said that.
He did.
If you want to get more of that content, twitch.tv/sheepies.
Finally, things are starting to come together. Here we're just putting in all of the 9 screws to secure the motherboard to the chassis, and voila! Simple, simple.
This is how the wild Hammer puts together a computer. What you see aggressively shoves the screw in the hole. You don't want to talk too loudly, or you might startle him. You'll have to start all over again.
You know why I bought this one?
What's that?
Because Dr. Harris Heller himself had a budget build and he bought this one for it.
That's good enough for
So
anybody.
essentially, that's exactly what we did here.
Oh, it's taking.
Woo! Look at the casing on that. Damn, son. Gigabyte did their stuff here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Got some heft to it.
Yeah, it does.
It smell like.
See the... plastic.
Grade A.
Grade A.
Was,
Grade A plastic. My brain is now dumber because I sniffed that. I think I might be the first one to open up any PC parts with a machete. Not sure where to grab this.
It's okay. Just be gentle with her.
oh yeah.
Let's get a close up of that. Oh, that's sexy. Look at those fins on that.
Pretty sure.
There, she slid in. And I just push.
If you end up moving it, moving out, something like that, I would take the graphics card out. I would keep the anti-static that it came in, so you can put it back in, wrap it up nicely.
Okay.
Everything else should be fine moving, but you want the graphics card out.
The graphics card that we did install in this rig is GeForce's GTX 1650 Super. I just wanted to throw that in there because I didn't say it before. But anyways, Adam's going to flip this bad boy around so we can get to the back of it where we're going to install the SSD.
It's out of there.
So you're going to take it out. We're going to screw the
That's where our scissors
bad boy
go.
to it, and then we're going to screw it back on. Where's the machete?
It's quite big. How do we lose
How do we
something
lose a
like
machete? You,
Ooh,
you're gonna
I like it when you rub me with that. Give me the jiggles.
so buttery. Ah, that was so
Just
smooth.
the hammer uses his talons to slice out.
That was so smooth.
That was good.
You'll notice the symbiotic relationship between the shapies and the hammer. One cannot coexist.
That was really smooth. Solid state drive. There you
Ooh.
are, good sir.
That's cute. So we opted for the cheaper solid state drive SSD, as that stands for. This is a 500 gigabyte. We could have went down to the 250, which I have in my laptop, but I just feel like that's just not enough. But the 1,000 was a little bit more than what the price range was that we wanted to go into. So we went with this. All right, now to screw it on.
So I'm gonna cut it right there for part one of this PC build, otherwise it's gonna just get way too long. So we still need to install the PSU, do a whole heck of a lot of cable management, install the RGB fans, as well as download Windows, boot up the PC, make sure it's still working, and run some game tests. Some more practical tests rather than Blender and a whole bunch of other spec'd out tests. But eventually I want to get into doing that as well, because I want to do more PC builds like this and just compare how they work and things along those lines. But hey, if you like this video, make sure you click the thumbs up button. It helps me out more than you know. Click the subscribe so you don't miss part 2 of the build coming out. I'm hoping next week that I can finish the editing and get all that out to you guys. But otherwise, yeah, come hang out either in our Discord. You can either hop in, play some games. Sheepies is in there as well, and Cody. So Sheepies and Cody are both in the Discord. We kind of all run it together. But otherwise, come hang out on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Hammer Kills 20. Link down in the description. You can find Sheepies down in the description as well. So, hey, if you have any comments, toss them down in the comments below. Otherwise, we will see you next time. Again, my name is Jason. This is the Stream Experiment.